Hi, I'm Michael Simoneau.
And I'm Anthony Simoneau. Welcome to our July market update. And by the looks of it, I've missed the memo about the wearing a tie.
Well, I don't know what memo you missed. I think we're always wearing ties, aren't we?
We're always wearing ties in our videos that we do. And I thought the reason why I'm not wearing a tie was a bit of a planned thing. I want to get our viewers' feedback on what they think of the tie. Is the tie dead? Is it still relevant in real estate? Do they expect their real estate agents to be wearing a tie? I mean, we still wear them on a Saturday doing open for inspections. So drop us a line. Love to hear what your thoughts are. If you prefer the way that I'm looking with with no tie, or the traditional real estate very stiff and tie. So
well, there's nothing wrong with being traditional.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So another massive start to the year. So the first 6 months have really flown by in rentals, and that's purely just because we've been so busy. So to date, last check that I did, we'd already leased about 180 properties for the year. So huge numbers for the first 6 months. And as we mentioned earlier in the year, January, February for us is always traditionally busy. This year was no different. But that trend carried right the way through, and we're seeing that even now in July, where huge numbers of people coming through open for inspections. Only last week we had 35 people come through an open for inspection in William Street. And things are leasing quick too. So not only in the Melbourne CBD, but there's a property in Carnegie a couple of weeks ago that we leased after the first open for inspection. So by the time we made it back to the office on a Saturday afternoon, there's 3 applications, good quality applications on the property, and the property was leased by Monday. Yeah. So things are flying out super quickly.
And traditionally, you probably would have seen a bit of a drop, but it's sort of steady March, April, May in previous years. But this year, we've just seen that every month has just been, big numbers in terms of leasing, and also big number of groups through all our inspections, which is great to see from everywhere. Yeah. Some tips to tenants, I guess, that are looking at applying, so prospective tenants that are coming through.
Yeah, so look, the most important thing that I always say to people when they ask me how can my application stand out is make your application stand out. So obviously when we're presenting multiple applications to an owner, you want your application to be different to the others that they're receiving, and make the owner feel as though they're going to be drawn towards your application more than others. And that can be done in a number of different ways. So you can have letters of recommendation from previous agents. You can show obviously your previous rental history, but for multiple properties that you've lived in. And obviously there's potential there of offering slightly more rental. So in a situation where we have 30 people come to an open for inspection, you may want to consider offering slightly more than the asking price in order to secure the property.
And I think be quick too.
Definitely.
Get the application as quick as you can. So being now July, tax time, end of financial year, your favourite time of the year.
Good time of the year.
Happy New Year to all the accountants out there. Talk to us about some things that our landlords should be receiving if they haven't already.
Yeah, so I suppose the first thing is you'll be receiving, if you haven't received them in the last week or so, you should be receiving your end financial year statements from us. Obviously that's a breakdown of the income and expenses that you've incurred throughout the year. That should be obviously the first step for you. And then obviously you need to go and engage an accountant and get things happening from that end. So, in terms of what you need to speak to your accountant about, obviously you've got your end of financial year statement there. There might be other things you want to talk to them about, like depreciation and things like that.
Depreciation's a great one to get done.
It's important for particularly overseas owners to know, or non-resident owners to know, that they're still responsible for paying tax here in Australia, and the ATO are cracking down on it quite heavily at the moment too. So if you are an overseas resident, so not being an Australian resident obviously, and you own a rental property here in Australia, then it's important that you speak to a professional about getting your tax return done here in Australia and submitting a tax return here.
We've already started the second half of the year. What are your predictions? I mean, I guess we're always asked to speculate what the market's going to do. Very hard to do that, but we'd probably see the same sort of trend with rentals continuing. I'd guess that still your big numbers, because it doesn't just drop off when you're getting 30 plus that are open for inspection. That's not going to stop tomorrow.
No, exactly. Look, if anything, we're using those as opportunities to actually really review the rents in certain buildings as well. So obviously we're bound by the comparable rents in the area, but if we're advertising at a comparable rent to others in the building, and we're getting 35 people come through an open for inspection, that's a message to me that rents are on the move again. And we've seen that over the last 12 months, that the market in Melbourne and the surrounding areas has slowly begun to increase in terms of weekly rents being charged, I think it's time to start looking at those in detail again. So we are doing that. So as rental reviews pop up and as as properties become vacant as well, we're going through and doing an in-depth analysis of what's on the market at the moment and the sorts of rents people are achieving. So obviously, helping boost those returns.
Yeah, it's been very much a rental sort of wrap up, but I just wanted to touch quickly on our exciting in-room auction that is coming up on the 9th of August down at the Seasons at Botanical. So we've got 7 auctions at the moment booked in for the night. So if you want more details on that, I'm not going to go through all the individual properties now, but there are some fantastic investment opportunities with some really good properties returning great returns, and some great also owner-occupied properties and for downsized and first home buyers. So get in contact with us. It's going to be an amazing night and a big night. So I just wanted to give that a quick little plug, but again, contact me if you want any more details on that.
Looking forward to it. Are you going to be wearing a tie on the night, or?
Oh, I'm not too sure yet.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not too sure. It depends on the feedback from the video. It will depend on if I wear a tie or not. So yeah. Send it through. It'll be good.
Yeah. And for those of you that can't make the auction as well, there'll be plenty of photos and I think a roaming video as well, so we can try and capture a few moments from the night and share those with you after the fact as well.
Yeah, which will be good.
Yeah.
I think that's it for us this month.
Yeah, that's about it.
Thanks again for tuning in, and if we can ever be of assistance to you, whether you're buying, selling or renting, please feel free to give us a call.
Right, thank you. Thanks.